channel. My name is Jeanette and I am a high vibrational being. I am back. I am back from outer space. Just walked with that look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your keys. I don't know. That record just came out, that channel song. And so you're back from outer space. I love you guys. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. I am a divine being. I'm here as a reincarnated soul, as a star seed, to help raise the vibration of the collective. Also, and I continuously am doing my spiritual work myself, learning in the process, and always connecting to this divine, beautiful soul energy that created us. I am very, very thankful. Today is September 23rd, right? 2025. We are all here in this world full of mystery, full of joy, full of secrets, full of the unknown. But we stay in the space of peace, love, harmony, knowing that there is only the Creator who is always in control, and we are here and on this planet to go back to source energy, to go back to the divine, to go back to who we are, and see things for what it is and not hold on into any attachments to them. First, there's a couple of things that I am, how you say it, a couple of things I have experienced during the recent spiritual journey that I am on, the enlightenment that I continue to receive, the energy activations that I continue to see, the visions in my dreams that I continue to receive. There's a lot of messages that come through, things that I'm guided throughout my day or throughout the week to watch. And it does something to my inner being. And when I go in and I ask Spirit about this, I'm always getting the messages from this divine source energy, my starseed family. I am connected to the Palladian, the starseed system, the Galactic Federation, the Arcturians, the Lyrans. I am connected to many starseed energies that always guide and always help and always heal and cleanse whatever needs to be cleansed within my field, within my space, within everything that I'm connected to. So if you know who you are, if you know the power that you hold, and if you are in this space of learning about yourself, learning about the Creator, and learning about the power that you have, that we have given away, and we are coming back to our sovereign being, because that's who we are, that's our birthright. There's so many beautiful gifts that the Lord that your ancestors have given you, and once you awaken to them, you'll be able to activate them and use them always for the highest good of all. Just had to say that. Yes, I do see spirits. Hi, Angel Gamer, how are you? I do see spirits. I feel them more than anything else. I intuitively receive the messages from the Most High God and my ancestors. And as a matter of fact, today I also telepathically speak to animals. Telepathically spoke to a dog today. I telepathically received a message from the crow today. Whether you believe it or not, it is what it is. I'm not here to prove myself to anyone. I'm here to bring light to where there is darkness and raise my vibration and connect to the Most High God. Not to prove anything to anyone, but I did connect, and I always connect to the animals, nature, because when you're connected, when you have done your healing, when you are connected to the one source, the one conscious, connected to everyone and everything that God has created. Don't ever limit your powers, don't ever limit yourself, and don't ever think that you are not this beautiful being of light that God has created and you have no power. You do have power. Don't ever little yourself. Don't ever judge anyone, because we're not here to judge. We're here to inspire. We're here to help. We're here to love, not attack one another. I don't work from that space. I don't work from it. I send you lots of healing if you do work in that space. And hopefully one day the Lord will wake you up and you will see how beautiful you are. Regardless of what you went through in your life, we all go through things. We all have experienced so much in life. But when you hold on to that pain and you hold on to that, you're not setting yourself free. You still are attached to something that doesn't have no power over you, but you're giving it power. I give nobody no power, because my mind, my thoughts, my energy is mine. And I love to work with the spirit that is always guiding me on the right path. I don't work with my ego, I work with spirit. Every day I wake up, I'm very thankful and very grateful, and I work from that energy because my way was not working. I learned about who I am. I healed the trauma. I faced what I needed to face, and I faced it with love. On 921, I did write down, mind control is being used as a weapon. Remember, you are in control of your own life, your mind. Do not allow anything or anyone to have power over you. Gratitude is the smile of the heart. Forgive yourself, for we are all one. See the one infinite love within all our brothers and sisters. And this question I asked, do you want to create consciously? It is knowing what you want. Create with every cell of your body. Visualize with the six senses: smell, touch, hearing, spirit, feeling, and tasting. That's how you create. I am not going to work with the word manifest, because it's not about manifesting, it's about creating. When you create, the spirits, the God, the creator, the energy, the elements work with you. There's a law that we don't break. There's a law that we follow. And when you work with that law, we work with the cosmic law. We work with this universal law. We work with the spiritual law. We don't break these laws, God's laws. I don't work in that space. I learned in my past life, when I finally awakened to who I truly am, and my awakening was Jeanette. Jeanette was being, she was in a trance. She was in a sleeping state. She didn't know, you could call her Sleeping Beauty, okay? She was in a world where she gave her power away. That's not the Jeanette that is currently, presently here at this moment. The DNA that is activated within me, and I am coming again. It's like we are always having this awakening of who we truly are. The ancestors, our past life, that we have activated within our DNA is here within us, helping us throughout this phase in our life, awakening, finding the truth, and healing from all that we have experienced throughout our history, from generations to generations to generations. It was the spirit that is within my vessel that has awakened and has realized the beautiful gifts that is within my being. And if you knew who you were, this may also happen. I don't know your life. I don't know where you're at on your stage of development of spirituality. Even if you are in your spiritual stage, I don't know. For many, from what I receive in the comments, I see that you need a lot of healing. I feel your pain. I understand. I don't judge you. Find peace within yourself, so that way you don't look at someone that you don't even really know. You don't know me. To say things that are not true. I stand in my truth. And I will always say, I am a starseed in this vessel. I'm here. I'm a very awakened, conscious being who has been enlightened, who has very beautiful spiritual team and a God, a creator, source energy that works with my soul and my spirit. And nobody could take that away from me. On Monday, September 21st, 2025, in meditation, I received a message from a benevolent being of light. I heard, "You have risen from the dead," meaning that I am healed from all the darkness, curses, hexes, self-limited beliefs that has been programmed into my system. We have been programmed since we were born how to behave. We have been programmed in school. We have been programmed in our spiritual beliefs. I know I was Catholic. I know I was raised in the Catholic Church. I know I did my 7 sacraments. If you know what the 7 sacraments are, I questioned that too throughout my life. But I'm no longer programmed. I deprogrammed myself by doing a lot of positive affirmations, gratitude, mindful, staying in the present, being guided by the Spirit to lead me to material books, podcasters who are enlightened beings, healers, chakras. Teach me of the world that I was living in, that I'm living in. I didn't have this knowledge before. I didn't have this knowledge 6 years ago. And for that, I am grateful for my spiritual awakening. The lessons that I went through in my lifetime. I am no longer the same Jeanette I once was. I am a benevolent being from a past life that has risen and is here to complete a mission from our divine source, and no one or anything can stop me. I am in full control of my mind. There is nothing, there is no food, there is no weapon, there is no manipulation, no witchcraft, none of those stuff that I learned that was done on a collective scale to harm and hurt spiritual enlightened beings who are very, 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 very intelligent and know the secrets of the systems and those who work with them to try to, that were enslaving humanity, who was oppressing humanity through a lot of weapons that were formed. And a lot of the spiritual, a lot of starseeds were sacrificed. But for them, that was their contract, and it was always also to bring it to the light what has been done. Nothing is ever gone unnoticed. Nothing is ever hidden. Everybody's secrets always comes to the light. There's nothing you could ever hide from the source creator and think that you could get away with it. We cannot get away with something because the God that's with you, he's always the creator, source energy. He sees everything that you do. Every single thing. He knows your thoughts. He knows your heart, knows your intentions. And this is on an individual plus on a collective scale. This source energy, you can't even explain it, but it's such a divine, beautiful source energy that will never, ever, ever lead you on the path of destruction. God is love. You are the one, people are the ones who are creating their own life. Then on this same date at 8 p.m., this evening, yesterday, I think it was, 2 days ago, was it 22nd yesterday? I was guided to watch The Flying Nun. The Flying Nun is a classic series that took place in Old San Juan. I never knew that. In Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. The convent, San Danco, is populated by, among other, the stern and traditional Reverend Mother Superior Placido. When I was a little girl, I watched The Flying Nun. But the most interesting about this Flying Nun popping up on my timeline was that I spoke to God. I spoke to God and my spiritual team to reveal to me a past life I once lived. And I received a message last night. Spirit said I was funny. I was full of joy, I was very loving, I was very beautiful. I was a nun, full of laughter, a nun who helped people. And I had a lot of spiritual gifts. This nun had so many beautiful gifts, even the gift of flying. There's nothing that our limited belief system that has been programmed has told us that we are limited. We are beyond. We're spirits in this vessel. We are able to do other things. This nun had so many beautiful gifts, even the gift of flying. There was no limit to us. There is no limit to us as dimensional beings, starseeds, who have gifts that can help humanity, and there is no limit to whom we are. There's none. That's why we're sought after. That's why we're spiritually attacked always. That's why, if you know who you are, there's millions of star seeds and divine angels. God, I believe they're all aliens. I believe they're very. There are saints and guides, spirit guides, that are also ascended masters that protect us. Very powerful. If God walked on water, if aliens could walk through a wall. We are limitless when we are able to these are some of the gifts we have. Psychic abilities. Psychic powers are extraordinary abilities that originate from users' mind conscious, such as telekinesis, telepathy, or precognition. The term psychic is from psi or precognition. The term psychic, psi, and electrons itself suggests a systematic or engineered application of psychic phenomena and is widely used in science or science fiction and fantasy to describe the use of mental energy to affect the external world or oneself. Internal source. Internal source, psychic abilities are powered by individuals' internal mental energy. That's why they say we have this little brain. No, we don't. No, we don't. That's what they want you to believe, that your mind is limited. Don't allow doctors, don't allow anyone to tell you who you are, to tell you you can't heal yourself. We are created by a source energy, powerful, very divine, that has created his children with abilities that could transport themselves from one space to another. Internal source, psychic abilities are powered by individuals' internal mental energy, which is often referred to as a psychic energy or psi. Mental will. Users harness the power of their minds along with their willpower and consciousness to produce specific effects. Telekinesis. We are able to move objects with our minds. We could, like the fire starter, able to put this energy out into the universe. There's people with these abilities. This was this, how you say it, Carrie, the movie Carrie, she had abilities. Manifestation. This mental energy can then manifest in various forms. I don't like manifest, I like create. In various forms, creating effects that are often considered supernatural. We are supernatural humans. That's why they don't want you to know. That's why they put so much medicine, medication, diagnosis, you making agreements to every illnesses that they say you have, so that way you don't cleanse your energy and become this divine being that doesn't need to make agreements with something that is not your birthright. You are a sovereign being. Don't let people tell you that you're very sick and you're not able to heal yourself, because that's not true. That's not true. When you believe in the power of your Creator, and you have the power and the will to fight through and let go of things and people and things and that doesn't serve you. You're able, when you have faith in God, don't ever give your power away. Common examples of psychic powers: telepathy, the ability to read or communicate with minds. I communicate with animals. I know people's thoughts. I pick it up very quickly. I see it, I feel it, and I know it. I read their energy. Telekinesis, psychokinesis, is the power to move or manipulate objects with the mind. Precognition, the ability to see the future. Astral project, this is what a lot of dark forces have done. They astral projected. The ability to project one consciousness from the body. Then we have pyrokinesis, the ability to control fire with the mind. There were military personnel who worked doing astral projection, astral travel, a lot of mind controlling experiments on humans. They also worked with aliens to receive tools that they have in exchange for things, people to experiment on. Then I continued yesterday as I came out from this place that I was at. I heard a very loud sound of ravens. When I looked up, these are messages I receive. I get them from my spirit animals, spirit guides, whatever. I am very connected to the universe, so I receive these messages. Hi, I'm back. Hello, Angel Gamer. I don't, when you asked what kind of spirits that I encounter, I encounter it all. There's not one specific spirit that I don't encounter. I counter them all. I, there's those, because I was on the dark side too, okay? Because I'm not going to sugarcoat and say I was always this innocent person. No, because we have to come from the dark to get to the light. But the thing with me was I don't have attachments. I don't have codependencies. I never ever picture myself as a victim. I always saw myself as a survivor. I always got myself up and out of many situations. From the darkest of the darkest spaces to the most divine light. I thank each and every spirit that comes into my world and brings me the knowledge and the wisdom and the guidance that I need in order to continue to expand. Coming in from love, because everyone needs love. Everyone needs love. Love is the most powerful energy besides peace that anyone could ever activate within themselves in order to, and then to give it out to everyone, your brothers and sisters, and not look at them any different. That's power. That's power. To forgive the man who murdered your son. That's power. And don't have no animosity, no hatred, nothing towards Kari Kamun, because I speak his name. Kari Kamun is forgiven. In my world, no anger, no pain. Forgiveness is massive. Then as I continued, when I looked up and I saw yesterday these 5 ravens, and they all landed on a tree. This was not yesterday. Was it yesterday? On Monday. I forgot. Because I wrote the. Anyway, when I write, I just go when I'm just write. When I looked up and saw these big ravens, and all of them landed across the street where I was walking with someone who wasn't very happy with me because I would not submit to her request to a question she had asked me the day before. And I'm not going to get into what question was asked. There's something about me that people need to know. I am guided by the Spirit. I am not guided by Jeanette. I do not fall into people's drama. I don't do that. I learn how to detach myself and speak from a space of compassion and understanding, so the other person could understand why I don't feed into that. But when you don't understand and you want to hold on and control, I see the control. I see the manipulation. And I see the pain and the hurt. I give so much compassion, but I can't entertain. I cannot entertain this codependency, because I feel this person had codependency and controlling issues. And I don't even know this person for that long for them to even, it's just so weird. But that was a lesson that I needed to learn. And I am very, very aware, and I'm very cordial, very loving, and very grown up in my mind and in my space and understanding not to give power to something that doesn't serve me, doesn't serve either one of us. It doesn't serve. So I continued to walk, and I had conversations earlier and thought we had moved on, whatever. I acknowledged her, but I told her we were both on two different vibrations and frequencies, and I'm always learning from each experience, and I am aware of when I need to let go and not feed into something that doesn't serve me. Person wasn't very happy, and it's okay. It's okay, because we are all on different timelines. We are all going through different spiritual ascensions, transformation, and I know that I needed to let go of this person and just be cordial to her and just continue to pray. Then I got a message. I wrote, I got a deep revelation of who I am. I am here. I am divine. I am sovereign. I am the light. I reclaim my sovereignty. I believe that I am activating all of my dormant DNA. I know who I am. Then this morning, Monday meditation. Let's see, message from the Flying Nun. I don't know who this message is for, but I passed by two men who are gay, and they were having a very loud conversation about someone named Mike. One of the men said Mike wanted a BJ from another man, but that he was scared. My spirit guides wanted me to hear this conversation because there is a Mike that maybe watches my channel. I don't know. Someone whose name is Mike has tendencies of the same, but keeps this undercover. Someone here His name may not be Mike, but Mike was the name that I heard. These two conversations, these two male, older gentlemen that were conversating outside in the streets about a BL, a BJ. And this one person was, I was like, why am I hearing this conversation? It's like, there's someone who likes to get BJs. Sorry, but then I also saw a big crow over my head today. Over my head in a building, wanting my attention. It was like, I know when these animals want my attention because they very loud and I want me to connect with them. It's like my spirit animal activation and telepathy is really being activated at a very high rate at this time. And I spoke to a dog today, and before I even walked up, I saw him from afar, and we had a conversation. It may be funny, but it's really so real. Anyway, this crow, as I spoke to my spirit guide, telepathically, the crow told me there is an ending. It could be for someone. This could be endings for many, but there is one particular person. I don't know who they might be, but it could be an ending of transformation. Maybe they are no longer, they are rebirthing a new self. Or it could be an actual leaving the earth type of energy. Because 5 Ravens yesterday talked about lots of changes. There's transformation. There was also protection. There is also spiritual awakening. When I know when I encountered these beings, it's speaking of what we're going through as an individual and on a collective scale. Number 5 means super change, and I've been seeing 555, and today I seen 444. Lots of stability, foundations, people's families. There's a lot of changes happening in people's relationships, in people's homes, in people's life. Their stability is going to change. They're also going through lots of transformation. This equinox energy, this solar flares that we are experiencing, this DNA activation, the sun connecting to our beings. When you know who you are, you know you are being activated at a massive energetic speed. Because time is, to me, time is an illusion, but I see the energy is speeding fast. Major events are going to occur on our planet and in many people's lives. And it's not to put fear into anyone, because if you know who you are, you know the source energy, do you know how powerful and protected you are? Change is good. Change unravels. People awakening is like something is happening. But when you go with the flow and you don't go against it, it works with you. That's why we have to understand the law of nature. Weather has been manipulated. I received that weather has been manipulated through a source of weapon. They don't want me to tell you. Yeah, they don't want me to tell you that. Oh man. They want me to tell you that. Okay. It was like the energy was choking me. But they, the weapon, the weather weapon that they have used, it's not going to be a secret. And it's so funny because in one of the episodes in The Flying Nun yesterday, Sally Fields was very young when she started the series, The Flying Nun. And there was, she questioned because in Puerto Rico it doesn't snow. So she went to this weatherman and she questioned how can she make snow happen. And she's a flying nun, so she just wanted to throw this this snow from the sky to make one of the nuns who were very ill, make her wish come true for Christmas. And when she did that, she spoke to the weatherman. The weatherman told her how to use it. But that's not the only place that I saw it. I also saw that in the Stargate series, there is a tool that is used for weather manipulation. Make it storm, make it floods, make places that doesn't snow, make it happen. Make disasters. Like the tsunami that they wanted to create, it didn't come into fruition because divine beings, we all prayed. And when you work with love, you know your power. These energy weapons that they try to use, it's being dismantled. It's no longer. So what they're doing now is using humans, mind controlling. They get them through technology. That's why we have to protect our children. Virtual reality. Protect yourself and protect your children. Because this is, the naked eye cannot see what the spiritual eye can. So that's why people have been called, say that they had mental issues, when in reality, many were speaking truth. and many were placed in places where they were medicated to lose their power. Just like they tried to do it to me. Okay? Send me that energy. When I was in a dark place at one time, wanting me to do things to myself. But I said there were things. I would go to the hospital and there would be a spirit guide there named Michael. Michael, my son's name is Michael. That's not a coincidence. Or other times I had these thoughts. It was never my thoughts. Never my thoughts. It was always something, someone using spiritual manipulation to spiritually attack spiritually enlightened divine beings that was not fully at their power at that moment. But when you are at your power, when you are at your fullest, when you know who you are, when you know that there is no weapon that they could ever form against you, that you have put up and built up your shield, your armor, your spiritual armor of God. There is nothing that anyone could do. Yeah, they could shadow ban my channel all they want. What am I going to do? It is what it is. But I just continue and will continue to speak my truth. This is my experience. This is what I go through. This is what I see spiritually. I may be in this vessel, but I have a spirit that is, and a soul that is very ancient, that has full of knowledge, full of wisdom, that continues to activate with every weapon that is formed and every teaching and every healing through nature, because I work with nature. I work with the energy. I work with water. I work with air. I work with the earth elements. I work with fire. I work with spirit. Taste. Talk. Communication. This voice will always speak truth. I will never, ever, ever, ever lie. I will never, ever, ever hurt any divine being. A little roach here and there, because sometimes I can't catch them to save them. But animals, It is what it is. I stand in my truth. I stand in my truth. I speak from a space of love, not from a space of hate or fear, because I don't ever want anybody to fear, because there's nothing to fear. You come across Goliath, a giant. Okay, hi giant. How are you? How you doing? They said the bigger you are, the harder you fall. In the story, Goliath fell, right? I don't believe there's a lot of stories in the Bible that really I don't resonate with. I really do not. I am from the ancient world, belief system, whatever. I I I I believe that going within and receiving the message from the divine, not seeking outside sources to help me, has helped me in many ways that you can ever imagine. Ever. Always be guided. When to go, where to go, what time. Always call in that divine I am that's within me, that I am present, that God that is within me. I seek their wisdom, the knowledge, my ascended masters, my galactic family, all my passed on loved ones, they are all within me. They're very, 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 very powerful, beautiful, loving, benevolent beings of light that has not failed me. Through this spiritual journey, I am amazed. I used to test the spirit. I used to test it to see if it was real, or the spirit of people. Oh, I see something. 1 second. Oh, talking about a critter. Oh, no. Oh, there you go. Alright, I had to go. There's a little nosy little roach. I don't like critters to be crawling in my space. I try to clean and maintain my space, because when you live around other people, they do come through the doors. So, but when I see one, I gotta get rid of it. 1 second, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. back. Well, I usually don't have the. Usually, I'm not on live a lot. I haven't been on live a lot lately. I have been creating some shorts and videos. If you're interested, you could always follow my channel, subscribe to my channel, and review the latest videos that I have updated. They come from a space of love and compassion and understanding, and a lot has to do with my spiritual awakening or the journey and the messages that I do receive. You was at dance? What was you learning? What kind of dance was you learning, Angel? Gamer. What kind of dance? What was you dancing to, Angel? Angel. Is that your... Okay, I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm not going to. Oh, another thing, today, I was at Tai Chi, right? My crystal came out of my copper ring. It's broken. The copper is broken. And is that you, Angel? You was at dance class? What's your dance? Anyway, I looked for the spiritual meaning of the copper, because it's the conductor of energy that is associated with this is the conductor. Copper is a strong conductor of energy and is associated with channeling, amplifying, grounding, spiritual energy. The breakage of the copper can mean that there was an energetic release. As a conductor, the copper ring may have facilitated a powerful release of a powerful release of stored energy or emotions, with the metal itself breaking to signal a completion or release. The connection severed. The metal setting represents a container or connection. Its breakage could simplify that an old energetic contract. There's an energetic contract that has been broken. Yes, Spirit, thank you so much. A cycle has come to an end. Foundation has shifted. The copper is associated with grounding. So the ring didn't break. It didn't break. I was in Tai Chi, and it's so symbolic, because I was in Tai Chi, and when you are working with energy, was working, because when Tai Chi is all about working with the energy, and we was in that space of just releasing, and as I was releasing, my crystal popped from the copper. So yes, there is a connection, there is a contract, there is a cycle that has been broken, and I am so ecstatic. Yes, There's definitely endings, and I've been saying it. There's definitely new beginnings. I felt like I felt when the crystal came off the ring, I felt a sort of a release, a relief, or some sort of energy. Something, and I said it quickly. Something broke. Something, a curse. It could have been a curse. It could have been something that was being. Because I had this for over 3-4 years. It has been broken, completed. There's closure. Wow. And this is a healing crystal because this is a smoky crystal. So all the healing that I have been doing has, this conductor has helped ground and release what doesn't serve for many years. And it's over. And I'm very ecstatic about that. I'm very, very ecstatic. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, I could bury this to the earth. So I could take this copper and return it back to nature. And I could create another ring for it because I do have copper. But this one was a very thick one. I like this one. And I can't even put it back the way it was in the beginning. Oh, there it goes. But I don't want to put it because I will lose this crystal, and I really do not want to lose it. I've been having this crystal for many, many years. So I'm very thankful that when the copper from a smoky quartz ring breaks, it can symbolize the completion of a protective cycle, a major energetic shift, or a message that you are ready to release the old negative patterns. The specific meaning depends on the properties of both the metal and the crystal. We did it. I'm so thankful. It's 6:16. Okay. So let's continue. I don't I don't know if I'm guided. Spirit guide me to the soul's journey. Yeah. Be grateful for this life and the opportunities that is presented to you. Be thankful for everything that you have faced or are facing. Know that there may be people who are envious, but it's okay. Don't feed into that. Don't feed into their insecurities. Let them be who they want to be. They are creating their own life, as a star seed, as someone who is of higher consciousness, and if you are in this space, you don't feed into that negative energy. You understand that that we are all different. We are all the same. We are all one. We came from one creator, right? But we all have different challenges. So somebody here is very envious, but find forgiveness. Forgive them. Uh, Let them just forgive. I acknowledge that harboring resentments block the flow of love. Don't ever block yourself. Continue to go forward. Somebody here is maybe grieving the loss of something or someone. Understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate. Listen, when I lost my son, I was so thankful. I was the proudest mom, to be honest. I saw the lives that he has touched. I was very proud of whom he had turned out to. He was a very, very beautiful soul. And he had taught me a lot as well. And for that, I am so thankful that he came into this world and he taught me not to hold on to anger, not to hold on to resentment, to find forgiveness. And he taught me this through the relationship that I had with my son's father, the youngest one. When we was going through our separation, he said, "Mom, don't take him to court. I know what it is. I know what it feels like as a child that came from a broken home, that went through the court system." He told me, "I don't want this for my brother." And I listened with an open heart. And I forgave. And I moved forward with gratitude. Whatever situation I went through in my lifetime, I forgave and was very grateful for it, and hold no anger towards any individual. That's not, it wouldn't serve me to come from jealousy, anger. It doesn't serve. It really doesn't. You're creating blockages of happiness, blockages of health, blockages of healthy relationships. Loving yourself unconditionally, seeing that person as your brother, as your sister. We are all one. And if I was to hurt somebody, I'm hurting myself in the process. Why would I want to do that? I always knew that hurting someone for retaliation doesn't work. That energy does not work. It only creates more heartache, more burden in your own life. And it causes a lot of health issues because you harbor that anger, you harbor that resentment, you harbor that hate for someone who really doesn't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. Create this illusion that you're better than somebody when we are all the same. We all have different complexions. We all have different body shapes. We all have different smiles, different eyes. We're all different, but we are all the same. Because we came from one creator. We came from one God. And when you hurt an individual consciously and aware that you're hurting them, or not consciously, because sometimes when you're at a very low vibrational state, that's not even them. That's their vessel. But that's not consciously who they are. They have taken or have brought in a spirit that if you was to be in my space or in the space of seeing and knowing that people are manipulated in certain ways and they're not consciously aware, you find forgiveness. Find forgiveness who have taken lives of others. There's a lot of that happening at this time. We find forgiveness and come to a space of peace and love and not take any sides. That's what they want. Don't ever give in to these places where there's so much separation in the media of WAR, whatever somebody has done to somebody, that's taking sides. We all pray for the best because we don't want no more of there won't be no more. We're not creating that world anymore. Of separation. It's no more. We are going to treat each other with respect, with integrity, morals, values. Walk in the path of love, peace for all. I always saw it. I always saw this life where there was no WAR, where we will all get along, no matter the social, economic, the color, religion, whatever. I saw and I still see us coming together, hand in hand, walking with this beautiful light within each and every one of us. And seeing our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren just playing freely, not being exposed to toxic behaviors, to toxic elements, toxic food, chemicals. I see it. I know it's going to happen. I feel it. And there's nothing that anyone can do to change it because God is in control. Enough has occurred. Our cries have been heard. The revelation is happening. Souls are being touched in many ways than we can imagine. The truth is going to be experienced with so much awakening energies. Some won't like it because they're accustomed to the old ways of doing things. Some will transform. Some will leave. And those who are in the light will continue to educate those who are confused. But the ones who are going to educate are the ones who are sovereign. Not the ones who are cursing. Not the ones who are still in pain. It's not serving humanity when people are still in a state of anger and pain and call themselves divine beings, call themselves children of God. God does not curse. He does not disrespect another being. When you are a truth teller, when you are a truth seer, you see things from different perspectives and you do not make any judgment against anyone. You stay in your space, and I've learned this. I've learned this because I'm not gonna lie, I made comments. But again, we are always learning. We come from a space of gratitude. We come from a space of unconditional love for all. It's our time to shine. It's our time to balance this world, and can forget, accept the benevolent beings, our star family, who is looking forward, our galactic federations, a star family, to come into our planet without being attacked. And they come from a space of love, because that's who we are. Benevolent beings who have seen from above and below and around, because they're all over. And that's the hidden truth. And accept. What was that? Ooh. Anyway, that was the alarm. But yeah, these benevolent beings will come to our planet and are watching our planet and are working with the governments, especially with the banking system that is currently coming to an effect very soon. The quantum field system, where there is not going to be any more stealing. There is no more scamming. There will be no more people filing for money with other people's identity, buying cars with other people's IDs, social security number. There's not going to be any more of that scamming system anymore. The quantum field system, the tokenization, is going to be a system that is going to identify those who try to do things that are not in alignment with our sovereignty, our rights. There is no more oppression. There will be no more homelessness. There will no more be people hungry. There will be no more paying for light. The lights is going to be, energy will be free, because everything is energy. These crystals are activators. These crystals are activators. They activate energy. And when you use them with a conductor, it amplifies it. Learn about the elements that is around you. This was known by Tesla. I was with Tesla in a vision. We was playing with energy. Balls of energy, passing it around. In a room, everything was lit up. Tesla was sitting down. I was with Tesla, and it was just the most amazing vision. Those were one of my many experiences with energy. I had plenty of more. I seen vehicles being driven, space vehicles. I draw a lot of space aliens. I just draw a lot of I don't know, my team of I, I draw like kindergarten drawing, right? I always have spaceships in the sky. These are my alien and the ships. I love them. Devices. This was my last sketch of an alien that I was sketching, and she has some geometric, sacred geometry on her head. There's also Saturn, Saturn return. Saturn is a planet that it's a lot of lessons. If Saturn return comes it comes to people at the age of 30, then at the age of 50, every 20, 30 years, Saturn returns happens. And yeah, a Saturn return is a period in one's life, typically in their late 20s, 50s, and 80s, when the planet Saturn returns to its original position in a person's birth chart. Watch your birth chart. Look at your birth chart, because you may be going at 20 years old, you're going through a Saturn return. 50s, you went through your Saturn return. I know I did. And this is my last year. I don't know. I'm going on 60. So during this time, people often experience significant changes in their careers, relationship, personal responsibilities as they become more aware of their life structure, purpose, and future goals. Many individuals may feel a sense of being at a crossroad, leading to a resentment of their life trajectory and eventual emergence with greater wisdom and self understanding. In astrology, Saturn governs the themes of responsibility, structure, maturity, and karma. A Saturn return occurs when Saturn completes a full orbit around the Sun and returns to the exact point in the sky when it is at the moment of your birth chart. The three main returns. First, Saturn returns in your late 20s, marks the entrance into adulthood with a full focus of on establishing one's career and personal goals. Second, Saturn return is in the late 50s, signals a shift into maturity, often resolving, planning for retirement, or changing career paths. The third is Saturn return represents a stage of wise old age, leading to a deep understanding of one's life and legacy. Common experiences is career changes. Many people may switch careers, start a new venture, or reevaluate their work lives. Their relationship shift. Commitments like marriage or having children can coincide with Saturn return, as can the ending of the relationships they no longer serve. And their personal transformation, you may feel a strong pull, become more authentic, to take on new responsibilities and let go what no longer aligns with your true self, and a feeling of being at a crossroad. People often feel profound sense of being at a turning point, prompting reflection and action. This is when Saturn returns is at knocking at your door at 20 years old, at the late 50s and your 80s. Okay, so embrace it. Don't I mean, it's a very, very profound time in people's lives to understand what the lessons they had to go through and move forward and go into uh, their north node, which is changes positive, letting go of the old and moving into the new. So Saturn returned may be affecting a lot of people depending on your astrology chart, where you're at this moment, the state of age. I say your 20s, your late 50s, and your 80s. If you are between those ages, you are experiencing a Saturn return at this time. So make sure you're going within. Make sure you are eating healthy. Make sure you are integrating the energy that is being sent out. Go into nature. Heal yourself. Work with the elements. Understand each element for who, spiritually, what it is. Never go against nature because it doesn't serve you. Mother Gaia is very fruitful. Water is very is consciousness. Fire is very passionate. Earth energy is a lot of abundance, a lot of it's a lot. And if you know how to work with it, it will work with you. And remember, the earth provides for all. Source energy provides for all. Always be thankful for the water, the air, the food, your body, the fire, everything. Be thankful for everything that we have in our possessions that is very priceless. And many takes advantage, many people have taken advantage of the source energy, but that's no more. And I love my aliens, and they are going to start showing themselves. If you haven't seen them, go out in the sky, go out at night, go stargazing, go see, because they're out there. And don't ever be afraid. And whatever the media puts out, always go within. Know that there are holographs. Know that there are spaceships that are being made to look like something. But remember that the Benevolent Galactic Federation will never harm their children. They will never harm a beautiful planet like ours. We all have choices. We all made choices for our highest good. You took a path. Know that if that path didn't serve you, you can always go back. Know that you're always forgiven. People have done things that was not good. And it's because, like I said, consciously they were not aware of it. So don't hold on to that thought that somebody was aware. We don't know that. We don't choose sides. We stay in the space of forgiveness and we move forward with our lives. We don't get stuck. Don't entertain. Don't feed in. It doesn't serve you. When you work with a space of love, you're putting that energy into the collective and it activates those around you, whether you know it or not. I don't know. Usually when I turn off my I end the live. I don't know how many people out there because nobody says hello. I'm here. Where you from? Can you say where you're from so I know that you're out there? So I know that you are watching my channel. It just feels like if you was in my shoes and you're doing a live, and when you end the live and you see that there was 50, maybe 70 people on your live, you're like, wow, how did I not know that there was on live? I mean, I really want to connect with you. I really want to know your name, see if you want to share. Tell me where you're from. I'm from New York, Manhattan. I always lived in Manhattan practically all my life. I grew up in Brooklyn. I was born in Queens, I believe. And then I moved to Brooklyn. I lived in the worst part of Brooklyn. I lived in East New York. By the age of 5, 4 or 5, I moved to 34th Street, the Penn Station Hotel, because we had a fire in Brooklyn. And we escaped through the fire escape. We lost everything in our home. And I moved to Manhattan. I moved to the East River Projects on 105th and First Avenue. I lived there with my mom, my sister, my brother, my mom, my 2 sisters, and then we had we moved to those projects, East River Projects, in 1971. I remember I remember moving into this apartment with no furniture, and we slept on the floor. I think my mother, I don't know how was the system back then, but I know the system would come to our house to see the conditions we were living, monitor. Me and my sister was always taken to a room, and we were being questioned. I don't know. I believe we was part of a study. I don't know. I've always been studied ever since I could remember. I went to kindergarten at PS 146 on 106th Street and First Avenue. Then I went from kindergarten to 4th grade at 146, and from 4th grade up to 8th grade, I went to PS 50, which was on 100th Street and First Avenue. I lived on 105 and First. And from there, I went to high school, Benjamin Franklin. At that time, I went there with a full scholarship of, I could have finished high school and had a scholarship paid for college. I messed that up. My sister taught me, started to teach me how to smoke cigarettes. I remember there was always a group of kids, teenagers, that were the in crowd, and we were kind of the out crowd. We were never the fly girls. We never was up to date with, how you say it, with clothing. We was always, I know I was always like not being seen as popular. I was more nerdy than anything. And my sister, I used to smoke a cigarette, right? And my cigarette, I used to light up a cigarette. My cigarette was right here. I had this right here. And my sister would say, you don't hold the cigarette there, you hold it here. And you smoke the cigarette and you inhale and you blow it out. But it took me time to master a cigarette. then the boys, learning about boys got into the mix. There was very handsome boys in high school, but I was not part of the in group, the in crowd. So these boys were very well dressed. They were, how do you say it, they were more interested in the girls that were showing parts of their bodies that I wasn't showing, and I didn't have. So I was basically very thin, tall, with not much, very long hair though, very long hair, and much to myself. There was no interest in boys. But then I started to learn how to smoke. My sister always taught me how to smoke. She was the teacher. She was the oldest. I was taught to, how you say it, play. She taught me how to skip class. I'm like, skip class, I was gonna get in trouble, and I was like, no. We used to go outside into the courts and play handball. Back then, there were these parties. They were called hooky sets, and these students, their parents would go to work, and during class hours from 12 to 3, there was a house party. There was beer, because beer was very popular at the time, and there was marijuana. I don't know what other drugs was available back then, but this was the early 80s, and we was into, they were selling, how you say it, loose joints for $1. And then they had what they called, I know this is children's, anyway, it was a lot of different stages in our lives that I learned. I learned a lot. I was an observer, and I also was a participant. I ain't gonna lie. I also participated, but nothing overtook me. Nothing ever controlled me. I didn't like the feel of how marijuana felt. I didn't like the effect. Um, then I started to work. I I think at 13, 14, 15 years old, I wanted to work because I didn't feel my mother was buying me enough clothing. I didn't feel, I don't know, I was like, I felt neglected. I felt like uh, my clothes, my shoes were not up to par like every other high school student was. I don't know, I didn't feel the love. I I know my mother lacked financially. I know she worked because she used to work. She worked at a factory. She also worked her last job before she passed away. She was a home attendant in Puerto Rico. She studied nursing, so that's what I knew. That's what she told me. But I seen her at work, so I know she worked before she got ill and passed away. And that's something that I really admire from my mom. My mom did not show us a lot of inappropriate behaviors, but there was inappropriate behaviors in our home, which she knew about, and me and my sister was subjected to it. But I don't fault her, and I forgive my uncle. And yeah, but it was a very interesting, and I'm not gonna lie, uh, I had a great time learning from childhood to adulthood. Even though I went through so much, so much that you could ever imagine a little child going through. Then as that child continues to grow up, it's like finding herself all over again, getting to know the world. I experienced the streets because you experience living in the projects where you are exposed to drugs, the life of a lot of dealers and different types of energies just moving around and becoming addicted. The world of the drug world was the 80s was very powerful, and it's like it just happens in different generations and generations, and the control, people were being stopped and frisked because of the color of their skin. There was a lot of things that was going on during that time. I seen a lot of bodies, a lot of my friends who had passed away. I used to see them like lay down. I will come outside, their bodies are right in the basketball court, or their bodies were right at a phone booth, or their bodies was in a project hallway, or there were things that I grew up seeing. That's why I have so much compassion and understanding, because I experienced so much. And when you experience and you have overcome and you still work in this space of love and compassion for all, versus the mindset that they will want you to be in anger and resentment and losing control of your mental states, is like, no, 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 no. Pulling myself out of that. Being a mother, experiencing domestic violence, experiencing so much. It really was a learning tool to receive and understand and educate others that whatever you go through in your life, whatever experiences you experience, you find I know I found so much resilience. I know every obstacle that was placed in my life, I would jump those obstacles. It was like a game. I'm like, if you could create a game of my life, this game will have so many how you say, levels, because that's how I felt like I was living. I was going from this level to this level to this level to this level. There was levels there was obstacles, there was a lot of challenges, and there was a lot of blockages. It's like playing the game of chess, right? I never played checkers, I always played chess, because I always wanted to be the queen. I always wanted to be, I never wanted to be a loser. I always wanted to exceed my expectations. Always, always be. I love education. I love it to educate myself. I always love learning. I always love trying new things. I always experimented, created. So, being this being and awakening 6 years ago, I really give myself so much credit for every experience and every timeline and every obstacle that I faced. I never gave up. I never gave up. I never was angry. I experienced things. And this was to, I know it was to, it was for a bigger purpose, because my son always told me, and before he passed away, there's something very big, because you didn't go through what you went through for no reason. And that was the last time I saw my son before I went to California.